Yes, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Today we are lucky to have a guest by the name Mr. Barak. And as usual, with my co host, Mr. Miguda, I want to take this opportunity first to welcome all our viewers and those, especially those of you who have been supporting us. First, I want to take this opportunity to give a chance to Mr. Barak to say hi to our viewers. It's his first time being with us in this show. Karibu, Mr. Barak.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to host me in your show. And hi, the viewers. Nice to be here, and I'm looking forward to having an interactive session.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Miguda.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And I would like to welcome Mr. Barak to our show. Kindly spread the gospel of subscriptions, likes, comments, so that we can grow our channel. Thank you.
Asante sana. So, the discussion of today, we're just going to measure on the appointment that we saw today. The president appointed some cabinet secretaries, and as per the expectations of the people, most people were not expecting that he would reappoint some CSS whom he had fired. And that is actually bringing so many questions, and the people of Kenya are asking so many questions that what was even the need of firing and then reappointing, because even if they're going to be vetted, of course they will go through so many processes, and there is a possibility that there is a lot of money that would still be used, would be spent when they would be vetted. Was it really necessary for the president to dismiss them and then reappoint them? And then the question that we'd also be asking today is the young people of the Republic of Kenya gave the president an ultimatum, and they were very clear. They said that they didn't want the cabinet secretaries who were in the office. And then that made the president fire all the CSS except the principal. It's called the prime CS. He's the only CS who was left in the office. Now the question is, what was so nice about the prime CS that made him not to be fired? Because the young people had said that they wanted uh, all these cabinet secretaries to be fired. So my first question to Mr. Barak. Barak, what do you think about the appointment of today? We saw that the president appointed almost 11 cabinet secretaries. The constitution gives him a leeway of appointing up to 22. What's your take on the 11 that he has already appointed when it comes to the integrity issue, competency, and the many reasons or the many things that the young people had given to the president, and they were very clear that they have to meet certain criteria? What's your take?
Well, thank you for that question. I think talking about the the 11 CS were, I think that it plus the AG, the AG Rebecca Miano. I think the president just proved to us that he did not listen to the demands that the young people put across to him. And I think it is just like reappointing the former CS. It's like just spitting in the face of people who are agitating for change in the executive. And I believe that he has done that for political reason than the demands that we put across to him. Now, I know when in the 21 that he dismissed, among the 21, I knew I was looking forward to seeing a few of them coming back, because to him, some, not all of them were not performing according to him. Some were actually performing, and one of them is Professor Kindiki, who has been always been rated as among the best CS by all opinion polls ever since this government came to power. And the constitution, the draft of the constitution, and when coming to appointment of cabinet secretary, they were very clear that it was supposed to be technocrats, professionals, as opposed to before when we had ministers who were politicians. And I think this is what the president is struggling with. Dropping politicians from his cabinet has been a big challenge to him. His cabinet consists of many politicians than technocrats. On the other hand, I'm happy to see the new nominees, apart from Julius Ogamba, who was a running mate to Machogu. I don't know if because Machogu he wanted to be the governor, and Julius was to be his running mate. So I don't know if Machogu failed. I don't know how Julius is coming to redeem education sector that is in dire need of a performing cabinet secretary. And maybe we can give them benefit of doubt. This new one, who are I think about 5. There are 5 or 1, 2, 3. There are 5, and the only thing that has impressed me is that that he has appointed professionals, like in the Ministry of Water, in the Ministry of Health. Even though we have 1 or 2 questions about Deborah, but I think because she's a well-trained doctor, with her she has a good lot of experience. Her credentials stands out, so I think that's a plus on her. And then the lady for ICT, Nyambura is also a professional who understands how ICT works. So I think new appointments is a plus, but recycling, for example, transferring Chirchir from energy to roads, surely. And Chirchir was one of the worst performing CS. So I don't know why he did that, but I think it's more political than competence and merit.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Miguda, what's your take?
My take will not be further from my guest, but on a different perspective. First, Ruto dismissed the previous cabinet based on some grounds, like people were complaining that some of them are arrogant, obnoxious, opulence, and I expected him to have new signing. So I expected new face. So I'm very much disappointed, because when he has been given opportunity, he's making the same mistake back to back, you see. So I expected him to come up with the first 11 who are maybe new signing. But of course, he has disappointed me, not only me, but many Kenyans, because why has he recycled some leaders? I tend to disagree with my guest that Kithure Kindiki was good, Duale was good. They have to come back. Yes, they were good. But remember, during our demonstrations, Kithure Kindiki was the cabinet secretary for interior. He's the one who was giving orders to this IG to give orders to police to shoot us, to arrest us, to abduct us, to injure us. So he is liable and is responsible for crimes against humanity. So he ought not to have come back. He ought to have waited for charges, because there are people are preparing charges. Advocates are all over collecting evidence. So Kithure Kindiki is guilty as charged. Similar to Duale, Duale ought not to have come back, because Duale deployed military to civilians, pretending that it has been approved by parliament. That's why I've said that Mr. Ruto has been given opportunity to redeem himself, but he's making the same mistake back to back. It's like the previous Euro final. You see, when England have come to final again, they came with similar squad, and also they failed to carry that Euro Cup. You are coming to final back to back and you are not carrying the Euro Cup. So if you are coming with a similar squad, expecting to deliver for Kenyans, I don't agree with Mr. President. Furthermore, the issue of reshuffling Chirchir from energy to transport is like maybe making a defender to play maybe midfield or striker. Chirchir is not going to deliver anymore. So I tend to disagree with the current submission by President for the new CS. So President is still will still fail. But let me put it this way: I think President prefer his personal interest over country. So he's putting his personal interest first other than country. These are the things which this is why we went for demonstration. You want someone who can put a country first before him. But with him, he's putting his friends. People like Ture Kindiki, Duale, Chirichir, those are his friends. Even the current CS for the so-called Toya Soipan, that is Ruto's friends. So we don't need this issue of appointing your friends, your girlfriends. So those things should end. Mr. President got an opportunity to redeem himself, but he has failed to redeem himself. Now, let him face the music.
Okay, thank you. The reason why the young people went for demonstration and when they were calling the president to send home the cabinet secretaries, they gave reasons why they thought, or they were the reasons why they thought that the cabinet secretaries were not supposed to be in the office. Among the reasons they presented were they said that these cabinet secretaries were not following the constitution. Majority of them were very incompetent. Some of them had court cases. Some of them were corrupt. And when it comes to following the constitution, among the five cabinet secretaries that the president has reappointed, for example, when we are talking about interior, where Professor Kindiki was now appointed, he held that position before he was fired and then reappointed. He is one of the problem, according to the young people. The young people are saying that under his docket, he permitted the police officers, he gave instructions to the police officers to shoot, and so many youths died when they were going for demonstration. And that is one of the reason why they said they didn't want the likes of Professor Kindiki. And now we have seen the president has reappointed him. Another one that was reappointed was for the Cabinet Secretary of Defense, that is Honorable Aden Duale. Aden Duale, according to the young people, they're saying that Aden Duale sent the army. And the army, according to the constitution is very clear. They're supposed to protect us from external attack. They should be patrolling at the borders. And now the young people are saying that if the armies are sent to in the streets of the Republic of Kenya to fight the protesters, to them that is a wrong thing, and they're saying that is one of the reasons they said that Duale should also go home. And now the president has reappointed him. When you come to Chirchir, who has been appointed in the Department of Roads, some of them are even saying that. Murkomen was better. Some, from what we are seeing, the conversation going on at the comments, majority of young people are saying that Murkomen was even better, according to them, than this guy who has been appointed, Honorable Chirchir. Now the question is, do you guys think that the president reappointing the likes of David Chirchir, Aden Duale, Professor Kindiki, do you think this is going to stop the demonstration? Because the president has just done what the young people had said he should not do. What's your take on this, Mr. Barak? Do you think the president did the right thing by reappointing these honorable members, because the young people were very particular. They said they didn't want these guys, and they gave reasons why they thought these people are not liable to hold these positions. Are we going to see the young people now not going to the streets, or this is going to even fuel it more?
Well, I think reappointing the former CSS back to the cabinet is not a wise decision in the first place. And it might not really go well with many people. From the reactions across the country, many people did not expect that. But President has reappointed 6 of them back to the cabinet. And 6 out of 11, it means it's more than a half of his appointees today. So another problem that I have with the list that President Ruto announced today, to me, I think another main reason for that why people went to the street is because we wanted a leaner government. And the constitutions gives a provision from 14 CSS to 22 CSS. And the president has always said that Kenya, we are supposed to live within our means. So if that is the case here, then we are supposed to go for the minimum according to the constitution, which is 14 CSS. And when he announced 11, it means he has reserved 11 as the second batch, which means we are going back to 22, which is the highest number according to the constitution. Now, if the president is really sincere with this issue of living within our means, I don't know why he is finding it very difficult to appoint 14 CSS and just go with the minimum number according to the constitution and appoint people who are competent, not politicians. I have a problem with having politicians as cabinet secretaries. And if you look at even the previous regime, where the former president Uhuru introduced the likes of Dr. Matiang'i to the public, the likes of Professor Magoha, those were the most performing cabinet secretaries, and they were not politicians. And if you rate their performance vis-a-vis those of politicians, you find that those guys did a lot of work, and they were so competent, and their ministries performed very well under their leadership. And that is now even the shoes that they left at their ministry. That's why you see the likes of Machogu, the likes of Kindiki struggling to fit in those shoes, because those guys outperformed when they were given those positions. Yeah, I think the president could just be bold enough to give professionals, new faces, these cabinet slots, because going back to 22 again with the same faces, to me, I think it's just like a mockery to the struggle that we took to the streets. Thank you.
Okay, Miguda, what's your take on that?
I think reappointing similar faces to expect different result is more of a mockery, because President, we were very specific by the time we are in the street that we are making this government to accountable. So does it mean that by bringing back the same faces, you want to be made to accountability? Because I see it in this way. If these are the people who made the young people to go to street to demonstrate, then you are bringing them back again. It means you are not interested to transform the country. You are not interested to redeem yourself. You are not interested to succeed yourself as the president. You are interested to fail. And that's why I say that maybe he has some personal interest with these ministries and with his friends. Because, for instance, look at the reshuffling of Chirchir to transport. You know who was in transport? Murkomen. So Chirchir is even worse than Murkomen. So I think presidents have some personal interest, because we were telling president, look at for those people who are profession, those who are technocrat, those who can assist to drive your agenda forward. But Mr. President keeps on making the same mistake, because by the time he was beginning his speech, he said that I want people who can help me to drive the bottom up agenda. And why is it that appointing the people, the UDA people? Even in the UDA people, there are those people who did not campaign for him, are very professional and who understand their role. Look at current CS for education. He was running mate for Machogu. So if my deputy is in the CS docket which I was holding, there are chances that I can go on with the corruption which I was executing that ministry. So Mr. President is not ready to reform, he's not ready to redeem, is not having interest of Kenya at heart. That's why he doesn't want to transform this country. But he is now trying to manage the demonstrators. Eh? By you said that another batch of 11 will appoint them shortly. So we will see. This is a wave. So if this wave will pass with him, so be it. We have tried to assist him, but ni kama sikio la kufa lisikii dawa.
Okay, thank you. The Constitution says that when it comes to appointment of the cabinet secretaries, he has to look into the gender issue. And from the appointments that he made, we are seeing out of this, we can see in the health department there's a lady. Again, in the department of ICT, there's a lady. In the Department of Environment, there's a lady. Again, there's also Alice Wahome. And again, we've seen for the first time in the history of the Republic of Kenya, we are having a woman being appointed at the AG, at the Attorney General. What does this? I think this is a good move as a country that we've started partly implementing what the Constitution says. But again, we've seen sometimes back we've been seeing women who are being appointed and they're doing well. For the first time again, we had the president of the LSK who is really doing a good job. We hope and we pray that the appointment of Miano, she'll follow the footsteps of the president of the LSK. You can also see in the Department of Judiciary, it's headed by a woman. Uh, what is your take, gentlemen, when it comes to the appointment of women, especially in this cabinet secretary, in these high positions? Does it mean that as a country we are making a good step? And do you think the president is doing this out of goodwill or it's out of pressure from the people? Mr. Barak?
Well, I think the appointment of Rebecca Miano as the first female AG is a win for our women, the women who have been fighting for space in leadership. I believe is a step in the right direction. My only problem is that I don't know how she will work with the president, because I know the reason why Muturi was removed is because he said that he advises Ruto, but Ruto does not listen to his advice. So I think that was a clear indication that he was also tired of being the AG, because as the legal advisor to the government, you expect that your legal advice should be taken seriously to ensure that even the decision that the government makes will not end up in the corridors of justice, and the government will not lose. But now Rebecca Miano has been given that position. We wish her all the best, and we hope that she will give a good counsel to the government and to the president, so that the president will not keep having problems with the doing things that are against the law, against the constitution, and any project that he undertakes will be stopped by the judiciary. The way the chief was stopped because of some illegalities, so many programs that the government has undertaken because of lack of proper legal counsel. So I believe that Rebecca Miano will do a better job than Muturi did. That is if Muturi was not sincere. But if Muturi was sincere, then the president must now start listening to the chief legal advisor of the government, which is the AG, so that we don't give women position and then at the end of the day we don't empower them to perform in those positions, then we start saying that they are failing. And you see the way the LSK president is doing her work so diligently, and she's proving that women, if they are given an opportunity to serve this country, they can do a marvelous job. Therefore, I believe it's a step in the right direction, and it's a win for all the women of this country. Thank you.
Okay, nice. Miguda, what's your take?
Attorney General, other than advisor to the government, is also the amicus curiae, the friend to the court, and also represent the public where there's a public interest in court. Rebecca Miano being appointed as the first female AG, it is a win for women. But maybe William Ruto, in his wisdom or lack of the same, thought that a woman can advise him, maybe can listen to a woman more than a gentleman, more than Muturi, because Muturi complained so much. So maybe we're expecting the president to listen to a woman, Rebecca Miano. But still, we are giving her time because she's still new. Because there are also other women who have been represented as, for instance, the current Chief Justice, Martha Koome. Previously, when you were being abducted, you were being tortured, you were being killed, he never came out to stand for us, you see. So, other than you can be a woman, but doesn't mean that you are going to perform other than men. I can applaud the current LSK president, Faith Odhiambo. At least she has demonstrated that a woman can work when given a time. For instance, he has performed better than the current two previous presidents, even Harvey. Harvey was not this much interested in human rights than Faith. So there, I can just give her time so that we can find out, can she really advise the government as per the prescription in the constitution, or she will be like the Martha Koome, who was silent. And we are very clear. We will never forget those people who did not stood with us by the time we were being injured, shot. But those people stood with us like Babu Owino. We will remember. That day will come. Even Faith Odhiambo will remember remember her. So let us just give her time. And I expect that maybe, AG role is not that in the public interest as per se by the per CS, but I hope she will deliver. According to also, because we have also read her CV, where she has worked in previous places, like he was a company advocate in the KenGen. He has some few scandals. So let us give her a benefit of doubt. Yeah.
Okay. When the young people are going for the demonstration, again, they were very clear. They were saying that this time round, when it comes to appointment of national leaders, they don't see this issue of tribalism. And we've been seeing the governor of Nyeri, Mutahi Kahiga. She's been advocating for his community, and it was very clear that if the president is not going to give them back the 8 slots of cabinets, then they will have to do something. Either they'll have to depart or get out of the UDA or the government. And according to the appointments that we've seen, majority of these appointees are from the Mount Kenya region. The youths were very clear. They were saying they want competent leaders. They want people who would follow the law. They wanted technocrats. But we are seeing the issue of tribalism is still coming in, and we're asking ourselves, does it mean that the comments of the governor of Nyeri, Ruto, has respected his comments, because it was very clear that if they don't get 8 cabinet, they will have to now start charting their way. Mr. Barak, out of these 11 cabinet secretaries, we are not seeing the face of Kenya. The young people are saying that this time around they want to see a government that is inclusive, and it is true that in Kenya we have 43 plus tribes, and the drafters of the constitution from what they were trying to input in the constitution, they were trying to think in this manner that with the 22 slots, that is the maximum for the cabinet secretaries. In their thinking, it could be they were saying that the 22 were supposed to come from different tribes, and of course, with the respect of the constitution, appointing competent and technocrat individuals. These 22 are supposed to come from different tribes. And then when it comes to the assistants, those are the PS, who are also supposed to come from different tribes, so that the people of Kenya would feel that they are all represented. And the issue of tribalism would not be something that we'd be talking about. What's your take, especially on the appointment of the president? And again, when we are trying to look at the comments of the governor of Nyeri, when it comes to the appointment, because of his comments, he was clear that they need to see 9 cabinet secretaries being appointed from the Mount Kenya region.
Well, thank you so much for that. I think Mutahi Kahiga, when he spoke, and I usually listen to him, and I just feel so bad being a Kenyan at this point, that we still have a governor who still thinks like Mutahi Kahiga and still holding a public office. If you look at the chapter 6 of the constitution, Mutahi Kahiga should not be near any public office in this country. But because of the weak institution that we have in this country, he speaks that such crap and rubbish, and he gets away with it. I think that was just one way of. They are used to that, to blackmail those who are in authority, to hold them ransom so that they can do as they wish. And if we just now reason as Kenyans, by having 8 CSs coming from let me say Mount Kenya region, because I think today they were given like around 5 or more than 5, and you find that
Actually, there are
people
6.
there
Mount
are
Kenya.
6, right? So 6 out of 11, which means they have more than a half. So what is the benefit to the common mwananchi who is selling maize along in Karatina market, or who is hawking sweets in Nyeri town? Because politicians whip emotions so that the people will think that they will benefit by their kinsmen having those positions. So I just want us to think in two different directions. The first direction is that if we can have institutions that are working in this country, so that anybody who occupies any position, you as a Kenyan who is in Lodwa, who is in Kwale, who is in Mandera, you will receive quality services efficiently, and you will not feel that your person must be in government for you to get services. That is how we can take our society forward, because we are used to saying that, for example, today there's no Luo in the cabinet, among the 11. There was nobody from Lowland. There was nobody from Coast region. So when we start now analyzing these things, and you find that even in Kamba there was no Kamba in the cabinet list today. So if we start looking now, analyzing this tribe by tribe, you will find that for one community to take 6 out of 11, it means that is a community cabinet. It's not it's not the cabinet of the Republic of Kenya. But now if we can make institutions work, if we can ensure that there is competency in public service, so that everybody, wherever they are, they will receive government services wherever they want, they will receive development, they will receive resources, and they will receive everything. Right now we have a problem of IDs in this country. Kindiki has been in charge of IDs since 2022 when he was sworn in. The people of Meru, where he comes from, Tharaka Nithi County, are they receiving IDs when the rest of the country is not receiving IDs? The answer is no. So what is it benefiting them if Kajindiki is sitting as the CS for Interior and National Administration, and yet even producing ID? Their young people cannot get IDs. A common, very important document that people have been waiting for more than 8 months in this country, an ID. And you know how vital that document is. So can we now also talk about service delivery? What difference will it make if my person is there is not performing? Yeah. And if another person is there and is performing and I'm getting these services, you look at you saw what happened in the agriculture ministry. If this guy from Meru, the Militika Minturi, was the CS for the agriculture, and he's literally oversaw the distribution of fake fertilizer to the farmers of the country, including in Nyeri County, in Meru County, sorry. But when he was called to the parliament to be to be probed on how that happened, they started to say, leave our the Njurinjeke say, leave our son alone. This is stupid. This stupidity must come to an end. These issues of leave our son alone and the country is suffering. Kenyans are getting a raw deal. You are paying taxes and you cannot receive services. So when I hear people like Mutahi Kahiga speak, I feel if I was close to him and was given on board, I can just give him a very hot slap so that I can wake up from that dream that is having. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Miguda, we are Kenyans and we've been in Kenya for quite some time. Among the problems that we've been seeing as a country is the issue of tribalism. In 2007, 2008, the issue of tribalism caused we lost so many people because of the political class. They had divided us in terms of tribe. When we came to 2013, there was issue of tribalism. 2022, there was issue of tribalism. We are now in 2024. But the young people are saying this time around they don't want issues to do with tribalism. They're trying to unite the country. They're trying to demonstrate. They're not asking each other, where are you coming from? They are just united by common things. They can't get food. That is what is uniting them. The government cannot give them the right services. That is what is uniting them. The government is not following the constitution. That is what is uniting them. And then there are some political leaders who are still trying to divide us in tribal lines. And the young people are very clear. And among their slogan, they're saying that they are tribeless. What is your take? Do you really think this political class, and with the appointment of the political leaders, especially these who have been in politics for quite some time, is it really going to solve this issue of tribalism? Or how is the young people going to welcome this? Do you think they're going to stop going for demonstration, being that the people who have been appointed are purely political class, are purely people who have widened the gap between tribes? They're the people who are preaching to us where specific people are coming from. Is it really going to solve the issue of tribalism? Because the young people are very clear. They don't want anything to do with the tribe. The Tameguda, kindly go ahead.
I wanted to reserve my comments about the issue of tribalism because the reason why we were lobbed with the tear gas, the reason why we were sprayed with water cannons, the reason why some of our colleagues were shot, is this issue of tribalism. We were very clear that we are tribeless. Then I would not like to, because so this issue of tribalism, even our guest has said that he can give the governor a hot slap. So it's something which is very terrible. We don't want to talk about it. But let me just comment on Mutai Kaiga. You know, this guy, I don't want to blame him so much because of his age, and we are familiar with this game. So we are very unapologetic to him. We are familiar with this game. So we are very sorry. You know, currently we have 6 years from Mount Kenya, plus Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is part of the cabinet because Deputy President forms part of the cabinet. So Rigiji makes the number to be 7. Currently we have 7 slots for Mount Kenya. So they are only remaining with 1 to achieve their goal. They are going to get 8 slots. There's no problem. But this issue of leaders riding on their tribes for their own self-interest and their self-gains will come to an end. We can stop to go to demonstration tomorrow, but one day we are living, we live to fight another day. We'll come back. But we are very clear. Our generation, we are tribeless. Coming to the issue of 2007, 2008, you know the reason why Uhuru and Ruto came together. They never liked each other. But because they were going to be charged with crimes against humanity at ICC for the crimes they have committed, they decided to hang together to form government. You see, after 10 years, they have separated their ways because their unity was not genuine. It was based on the tribe. They tried on their tribes to rule this country. So I do not want to comment so much about the issue of tribalism because we are past that. So, Governor for Nyeri, we are very sorry. We are familiar with your game. We are very unapologetic.
Okay, thank you. The Constitution of the Republic of Kenya highlights the role of the opposition leader and the opposition party. The role of the opposition party, they're supposed to ensure that the government are trying to are implementing their whatever they promised the people by following the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, and they are supposed to fight for the people by representing them if the government is not really listening to them. We've had a very strong opposition in the Republic of Kenya, but normally after elections, we've always seen a situation where the opposition gets in bed with the ruling party, and immediately they start this conversation of working together. There's so many irregularities, there's so many corrupt dealings, there's so many instances where the constitution is then not even followed. We've seen so many times, even the opposition members of parliament, they just rubber stamp laws, or they make laws which are not pro people. And the people ask them, they say that they're following they're following what their masters have said. Those are the party leaders. And as a country, for the first time, the young people came out and they were very aggressive. They were very particular. They raised so many issues. Among them were the bad leadership that they were seeing in this ruling government. Instead of the opposition coming to help them fight for what they are fighting for, we have seen a situation where the ODM party is now trying to get into the government, and there's a rumor that they have been promised 7 slots of cabinet secretaries. And this now brings my question: is this really what the constitution says? Because the young people are saying you have to follow the constitution in a situation where the ODM party, because according to what we are seeing, they have accepted the cabinet positions that they've been given. Do we are the young people going to stop going for demonstration because they said they have to follow the constitution? The constitution says that the opposition should not be part of the government, but for the first time we are seeing opposition getting into government. Of course, if the young people continues with the demonstration, they are going to be right, because they are saying the constitution is very clear. You are not supposed to be part of the government. And who again is going to fight for the people? My question to you, Mr. Barak, do you really think it's right for the opposition party to get to accept uh, joining the ruling government? And if they join, who is going to fight for the people? We are still remaining with 2 to 3 years to election. For these 3 years, who is going to stand by the people? Who is going to fight for the normal Wananchi? And if the ODM accepts these positions, where are we? Are we even respecting the constitution that we swore that would respect? Do you think the government of the ruling party, led by the president, when he was being sworn in, he said that he would respect the constitution? And today is even inviting the opposition. Who is going to fight for the people? What's your take on that?
Thank you so much. I think I have So the constitution talking about the legislature as the leading should take the leading role in oversighting the government. You know, when we were coming up with this new constitution that is now 14 years old, we borrowed heavily from the American system of governance. And American system of governance, they don't have opposition. They only have majority and minority in parliament. You know, in Kenya, normally I usually think we are not at that level yet. That's why you see us having so many challenges. This idea of presidential candidate losing election and having nothing else to do. Now you start leading your parliamentarians from outside the parliament. I think in Africa we are not mature yet to reach at that level. And I think we borrowed this structure from the US that eventually led to this problem that we are having right now. Initially, it was very easy because these opposition leaders were in parliament. So they used to lead their troops inside the parliament. And that's why now it was very easy to hold government to account because they were inside parliament. But right now, you see a party leader who is leading the opposition is not a member of parliament. And now they appoint a minority leader who is not even very powerful politically, who will now be taking instructions from outside. And all this confusion, you find that now they become very weak. And that's why from 2013 up to now, the ruling party or the president has always had their ways in parliament. Because it is very easy to pass whatever bills they have, whatever resolution they want in parliament, because we don't have an opposition in parliament. We only have minority who are like it's like they are leaderless. Those minority, whatever, they're just holding those positions as formality, but they are not commanding their troops inside parliament. And that is why you see that we are having these problems. And that's why when the legislature fails, and you saw this happening in Finance Bill 2024, the legislature failed to hold to oversight the government, and they passed a bill that the public is saying, please do not pass, reject. But they went ahead and passed it because they are supposed to oversight the government. They are not doing that. They are doing the opposite. They are a rubber stamping authority to the executive. Now, the issue of ODM and Raila joining Ruto in government, it's funny, but I just want us to look at this from a different angle. Every time we go for elections, I think that's where now the problem starts. People who vote against Raila in elections, they expect Raila to fight for them when now the president they elected start now coming up with policies to oppress them. And that is irony that happens in this country. And it's just my opinion that I think Raila has just given up and said, okay, now let me also now go to bed with the government, because just the other day, less than 2 years ago, I asked for your votes. You denied me, and people who voted for Ruto, majority of them are right now crying for, please, can you come and fight for us? So I think we should understand that when we elect a government, we are electing a government to serve us. Yeah? And if this government is not able to serve us, it should pack and go. We should not be depending on these politicians to fight for us, because they are also fighting for their own interest. Yeah, for them to access those positions, those CS and those CS they are looking for, I can assure you, it's not for us, it is for them. Yeah, so we should use our power rightfully on the ballot and ensure that we elect people who are going to serve us, and we are not going to survive on the masses of an opposition leader who can easily be put in a corner. For example, when Raila declared his interest to vie for the AU chairmanship, that was like going to the bed with the government, because according to the law, it is the government of Kenya that will present Raila's name to Addis Ababa for as their candidate. Raila is not a candidate on his own. He is a candidate of the Kenyan government. So, he cannot be presented there as a candidate of our government or the state candidate, and then you go against what the state wants. So it was a way of killing and silencing this opposition for good. And that's why you see right now he cannot come out clearly and speak against what's going on, because he knows his interest. If he tries that, they will withdraw his name. And this AU, UN, you don't apply as individual. It is the country that applies for you, and that country is your government. So that was a way of finishing him completely. So right now he's just trying to give back to the community, or giving back to Ruto because of standing with him to go to the AU. So it has nothing to do with us. It's about him, about his party, about his survival, about his interest. So we are not featuring anywhere. My point is, let us vote wisely when we have that opportunity to vote, because that is the only time when we can make decisions that are going to benefit us for the next 5 years. And when we make a wrong decision, the way we people did in 2022, you see where we are right now. Things are moving from bad to worse. So it's upon us to ensure that we make the right decisions at the ballot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Miguda, ODM is part of Azimio, and there are so many parties within Azimio. And just the other day, we saw that when the party leader of, when His Excellency, the former president, Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, Kalonzo, was trying to address the people on the stand of the Azimio, there's so many goons who came in and disrupted the whole thing, and we're being told that these goons were sent by the ODM. Now, we saw them have a presser today, and they said that if ODM is making a decision to join the government, they are not going to be part of that. Does this mean that Azimio is folding up? Is it really going to stand? Is it really going to be in existence in the next coming days? What's your take on that?
I think Azimio is dead. There's no Azimio. Expect new formations 2027. But the case of Raila has been con. Kibaki con Raila, Uhuru con Raila. Now this one is the longest con by Ruto. Raila being a con man, he has been con again. So you live by sword, you die by sword. Raila has been con, and this one is the longest con ever. So that's my comment.
Again, Mr. Barak, before we end, we're almost winding up. We saw some members of ODM, one Babu Owino, he was very clear that if the ODM decides to work with the government, he's not going to be part of that. And again, we've seen the senator of Busia, Okia Omtata. He also attacked Baba, and he was very clear. He said that Baba stood with the people, but for the first time, Baba was not really helping, was not really standing and sticking with his words. In this situation where the likes of Babu, he has a good a political life when it comes to the people who follows him, especially the young people. Does it mean that we are starting to see new political giants coming up? And how is this going to change the politics of the Republic of Kenya in the coming days?
Well, I think for for Babu, it is time to shape his political future with outside ODM, because being in ODM, he will never grow past what he is right now. It is time for him to go it alone. And I know he's bold, he's so courageous, and with the potential that he has, he does not belong to ODM, because ODM has their own structures that limits people like Babu Wino from growing further, from to explore his full potential. And Okio Mtata is an activist, and he's not a member of ODM, but I hope they can join forces with Babu and see. So Babu Owino, it is just time for him, and I hope even 2027 he will not vie on ODM ticket, for him to grow and exploit his full potential. And I know many formations will come, but I know the 2027 elections, ODM is going to perform decimally compared to 2022. Because of all these things that are happening, they are eating into their electoral base, and many people are not happy, many people are not pleased. And the way they usually do their things, every election they lose popularity. Every election they usually lose something, and 2027 is going to be worse, because I believe even Baba is not going to be that influential in 2027 as opposed to the previous elections. Therefore, we are going to see so many casualties. Who are members of ODM are going to lose elections, and even in their own strongholds, some new political formations might come up, and we'll see new faces joining elective positions at the expense of ODM.
Okay, fine. Miguda, your take on that, and maybe if you are giving us your last take, kindly give us your last remarks, Mr. Miguda, before we end the show. Mr. Barak, I'll give you a chance after Miguda so that you'll give us your last remarks.
Okay, Makobura, whenever you mention Babu Owino, I feel like I'm full. I thrill because that is a presidential material. Babu is a very serious political animal in this world. Because first I voted for Babu when he was leaving Sonu. I was the last person to vote for him as the president for Sonu. So I even voted for him last election. I'll vote for him 27 as governor, and definitely I'll vote for him as the president of this republic. Babu will be the president. Babu is a God-sent leader. So Babu is a very serious political animal. Why am I saying so? Babu has strategized and has mastered everything in ODM. He doesn't need ODM to succeed. Right now, Babu can come with as an independent candidate. We are going to elect him as the governor of Nairobi, whether they like it or they don't like it, whether they give him ticket for ODM or not. He is the next Nairobi governor. So Babu Owino is a top notch. He's a top notch. Babu Owino got sense. Babu Owino understand economics, understand policies. You see. So given opportunity, we are not praising him because he's a young leader. Of course, look at even in the rating, Nairobi County, he's always at the top. Even infrastructures, if you walk at Utawala, Savannah, you see those infrastructures he has tried, even construction of classrooms, issuing of bursaries. So Babu Owino is in another world. You can't compare Babu Owino with these current politicians. So Babu Owino, we are behind him. And of course, Babu Owino is a tribeless leader. You see, even he's going beyond Luo. So having said that, I would like to make my conclusion about the issue of the current issue in this country. What we are experiencing rightly is what we refer to as neo-colonization, whereby the whites or the colonizers left for us political leadership, so we are controlling our politics, but they are controlling our minerals. So they are interested in our minerals, not our politics. So they have to make sure they have their puppets, like William Ruto. That's why we're saying William Ruto is the puppet for US. He has disappointed us. He will continue disappointing us. We have lost faith in him. He's not ready to redeem. And we will still demonstrate, not today, not tomorrow, but even people will still demonstrate, because whenever we feel that this government is not executing as per the constitution, everybody has that right in Article 37 to peacefully and armed to picket, to demonstrate, and also to present petition to the relevant authority. So far so good. I would like to tell our viewers we are committed and we are very much consistent. Kindly subscribe, comment, share, so that we can grow this our channel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maguda. Barak, what's your final take? What would you like to tell the people of Kenya who are watching the show, and maybe the leaders of the Republic of Kenya? Especially, we saw the president made appointments today vis-a-vis the comments of the people and the expectations of the people. What's your take as we close the show?
Well, thank you so much. My take is that to our leaders is that just serve the people of Kenya. Those positions are, you have those delegated power to serve this country. Don't have a sense of entitlement. Don't look down upon the people of Kenya. Just serve with passion. And I believe people have eyes, they will see. The others have ears, they will hear. And they will see you as someone who loves this country. And to the people of Kenya, I just want you to let us be patriots. Let us stand for what is right, and let us love this country. This is our home. And if this country's things go wrong, we suffer together. So let us love our country and stand for what is right. And let us always be on the guard, because even as Ogud has said that we have auxiliary leaders in Africa, not only in Kenya. And these auxiliary leaders, they represent the interest of the colonial masters. And you heard that even the IMF were forcing the Finance Bill 2024 on the throat of Kenya through the auxiliary leader Ruto, who is representing them in this country. And if Kenyans could have been not been on their guard, right now we could have been having a very terrible finance bill on our throats. And I believe even many Kenyans right now could have lost their job because of that finance bill. Therefore, let us be on our guard and let us know that the enemy will not go to sleep. So let us also not go to sleep. Let us guard this country. Let us stand for what is right. And to the viewers, thank you so much for joining tonight. And we are looking forward to having more other session. Please share the link, subscribe, and invite your friends to be part of this channel. And we'll always be there to discuss the matters of national importance together. Thank you so much for the opportunity for being your guest tonight. I'm so humbled. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Allow me also to take this opportunity to thank all those people who took their time to be part of this show. To our viewers, we thank you so much. Kindly, you can share with your friends, you can like and subscribe to the channel. The main reason, the main thing that we do in this channel is we try to enlighten the people of Kenya, we try to correct the leaders. We are not fighting anyone. That is just a reminder. We are simply trying to point out the issues that we think we can try to correct. We can try to remind the people in leadership so that they can change. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a blessed night.